great.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to GeesBeeCee Women with Words. We're here this evening. This is our first show in 2024. We made it. We crossed over. We are excited. God spared our lives to see today. I want you all to pat yourselves on the back because you're back here watching us. This year is a new year, a different year. We'll try to continue to be in this space, but we want to invite you, want to ask you to invite others to come and watch this show. Please share it. To as many people as you can. One of the reasons why we have this space is we hear all the time people talk all the time about what's bad about Liberia, what's wrong about Liberia. GeesBeeCee was actually birthed from a political motivation, but the show Women with Words is a branch of GeesBeeCee that focus on what's good about Liberia, the things that we can promote about Liberia. So it's just me here today. My co-host Agatha is off today. Michael and Eva, they're still not here. I guess it's a new year. Hopefully we'll see them soon. But I want to welcome all of you. I want to welcome every one of you. The fact that you made it to 2024, it's a blessing that you're here, and so we're excited. I'm just gonna go and something different today. I want to see to recognize some of the people that are watching. My brother Zizi is watching. Hello, Zizi, the educator, the math genius. This Zizi Guame is the director of mathematics in Minnesota. So some of you who don't know math, that's up to you. But Zizi, it's a powerhouse when it comes to math. Not only is he, but he's also a very influential person. And so many things concerning Liberia. He's been a part of. I want to welcome all of you, like I said. Let me just recognize who else here is watching. I see Hawa Metzger is here. Of course, my icon, Hawa is here. We're happy to be talking to Hawa. We have a very special one-on-one interview coming up soon with this lady. We're going to be talking about everything with her. Everything. If you have questions that you would like to ask her, please. She has consented to do a one-on-one on G Talk because we're going to talk politics. We're going to talk everything how we're going to be talking. So she'll be on this show. Actually, our interview is on Saturday. It's a one-on-one on G Talk with Hawa, where we're not going to have anything bar. We're going to take her there. I want to welcome also Dr. Paulina Cole Hardy. This is my friend, my sister. Very beautiful. You know, Liberian got some pretty women. This woman is flawless. When you hear and when you see her husband standing by this show, to them I want here, so I will do whatever I want to. When you see her husband standing by her, he can't want flat set to sit on Dr. Paulina. And I so much love that man anyway, wife. Want to say Happy New Year to you. Welcome. Thanks for watching. Rachel Freeman. Yes, let me talk about this woman, Rachel Freeman. This is not a political show, but we also want to highlight good things. Our platform, especially this show, GeesBeeCee, the Women with Words show, is we do social issues, and it's not politically motivated. But I want to talk about Rachel Freeman. This is a young Liberian woman who stood up. She's watching this evening. Rachel, I'm honored. We're honored to have you watch us. We want to recognize what you did. Rachel saw a group of Liberians, mob justice people, or people a gang who was trying to beat a young man because they accused him of stealing. And I'm sure some of you have seen this video go around on Facebook. And Rachel, I think my brother says it, and we did a show about Rachel saying thank you. Rachel was the lone voice that day who was telling them to stop beating the guy, who was telling them if he has stolen, call the police. And even though people tried to shut her up, she continued to talk. So Rachel, we want to say thank you for what you've done. We appreciate you. I can't see everybody else that's here. I'm going to go to the GBC page just to recognize people. The fact that we've crossed over, the fact that we're here today. Like I said, Agatha is not here today. We're praying for her, praying for her in a very special way that wherever she is, when she bounces back in 2024, she's a, you know what she is. She'll be all well, but I miss the fact that Agatha's not here today. She will be back very soon. I see Michael Patmo is watching. When he should be on set, he's watching. There are other people who are watching. I'm sorry if I haven't called your name, but I want to welcome you to this show today. We have a Liberian philanthropist, a preacher, and a philanthropist. I am philanthropist. I can attest to some of the work that he has done. We want to be able to highlight him, but there's something going on that I want to talk about briefly. Let me go to there's something that was shared today by Kowu Yea, and I decided to go and watch it and do research on this. There's this young woman. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is the lady here. This young woman here. She is 30 years old, and she was elected as the new mayor of Golden Valley, Minneapolis. 30 years old. 30 years old. So I want to say congratulations to Rosalind Harmon. I was very intrigued by what she's been able to accomplish as a young woman wanting to make a difference in her community. Very excited to be able to hear of the story was shared on my sister Kowu page. And of course, I took off the time to go and watch it. I also want to encourage all of you. There's a bug. There's a flu bug. Those of us who are in a healthcare setting, there's a flu bug that's going around that is very dangerous. It makes you so sick. It makes you weak. Some people have symptoms with throwing up. Some people are vomiting. Some people have headaches. I had it for 2 weeks straight. I was sick. I was really, really sick. I had sore throat. I thought I had COVID. I tested myself a couple of times. It was negative. But the reason why I'm saying is don't renege on your practices. If you have to wash your hands, wash your hands. If you have to keep a distance from people. If you have to wear your mask, because I'm telling you, it's no joke. It is a minimum of at least 2 weeks away from work, because I went through it. I have a sister who just recovered 2 weeks. I spoke to somebody today who also have it 2 weeks. And there is really no medication that the doctors are giving you. So I want to tell you, while you're in this flu season, this winter, don't forget about your health. When you go out and you shake people's hands, wash it. I think someone was saying to me, don't forget. I think it was Michael saying, don't forget when you talk to people, wash your hands, or carry your hands, still carry your hand sanitizer with you. But just be sure that you're protecting yourself, because you don't want to get sick. I tell you, I was weak. And then in the daytime, okay, in the evening, I have fever, and the fever was extremely high. It was tough. No appetite and all of that stuff for 2 weeks straight. I was sick and I couldn't work. So I just want to encourage you. COVID is still around. Follow the precautionary measures. Don't worry about anybody who's laughing at you because you're wearing a mask. Don't worry about them. You're saving yourself. You're saving your life. You're protecting yourself from being sick. So I want to make sure that you please take the precaution that you can, the precautionary measures, follow them. Thanks to all of you who continue to support the GBC Corporation, the G Broadcasting Corporation. Thanks to all of you. Even with our page, we now have 8,000 people on there that come on there. The other day I was thinking about the page, and I was like, the thing about that page, even if we are at different spectrums of different ends of the spectrum on a particular topic, when we enter that GBC page on Facebook, everybody becomes one. We all become one. We're working together. We laugh together. We cry together. We support together. We do all of that. So we want to make sure that we appreciate you for coming on and being a part of us, and continue to share. Agatha is not here today, so I'm going to say Happy Friday Eve. Happy Friday Eve. I hope that's the right way you can say it, Agatha, but if that's the right way that you're basically, I'll not say it the way I want to say it. So welcome to all of you. I'm going to share the flyer. I'm going to share the flyer of our guests that we have today to talk to Reverend Joe Reeves. Like I said, he is a philanthropist. He's a pastor and a philanthropist. He's a Liberian first of all. He lives in Richmond, Virginia. He has done some work in Richmond, and he's done some major work in Liberia with the young people and other stuff. So I'm going to bring Joe on to the stage now so we can talk to him. Hello.
Hi. I just want to make something clear. There's a guy you talk about who is a mathematician. Keeping away from me. I never did well in math, so please stay from me. I can't handle him.
Zeze, that's the challenge
Stay
now.
away. I
Zeze,
know
Joe,
1 + 1 is 2. That's it. Don't go beyond that.
you know 1 + 1 is 2, and that's all you know. So welcome, Joe. It's a pleasure to talk to you here. I'm glad that I have the opportunity we invited you and you said yes, sure you will come. I want you to tell us a little bit about who is Joe Reeves. Tell us something about Joe Reeves, and then I'll tell you what motivated me to wanting you to come on here so we can talk today. Who is Joe
Well,
Reeves?
first, Joe, I mean, everybody know everywhere I go, they say I'm the best looking guy in the whole world. That's the first thing. And I joke a lot, but I do things from my heart. I was privileged to come to America in 2001, August 31st. And just to give you, where I'm at today, grew up in Biopolo, had the privilege to go to Monrovia, came to America. I went through the war. But when I came, later on, my family joined me. The immigration process, it takes some time. I was working. I didn't get the full, immigration status, but I still had the opportunity to work. My wife didn't have the chance to work. And man, the document was in process and it said it was waiting and it delayed. It was approved but delayed. One day I came home, when women having issues, you get home, man, you're in trouble. Men, you know what I'm talking about. She just started having some attitude. I was like, oh Lord. I know
What
this
have you
lady,
again?
yeah, she frustrated, staying home. So let me check on this document. But that night I turned my phone off for it to charge. And in the morning I turned it on, there was a message that popped up on my way to one DC area to check the immigration status. And I don't know who left that message. But the person said, God brought you in this country for a reason, and that reason will be accomplished. And I went, who left this message on my phone? I went to the immigration office, went to the front desk. Ladies, I ain't talking to you like that. And I asked the lady, I said, I'm here to check on my document to see, it's been approved by a delay. She said, well, you started being smart again. If it's ready, you're going to see it. I had to pull my shoulder up. So I said, well, can I speak to a supervisor?
Look
She
at
said, well,
you.
you can speak to a supervisor. Ain't going to make a difference anyway. So I sat down. She sent for the supervisor. He came and I explained to him. And later on, he said, I'll be back. He went in his office and came back. He said, your document just arrived. I stayed there and got everything. The question I asked myself, wow, God, why am I here? Fast run, 2009, there's a church in Petersburg that they had tons of people sending application, African American church, but I was selected to be the pastor. Like, whoa. I was there from 2009 to 2013. And then I left from there, had this burning desire to start a church from this place on Hall Street where we started the church. Let me just, Joe, my wife and myself been together for a couple of years, 30 some more years. I
For
had
the
about,
summer years and a couple years.
yeah, well, yeah.
That's a long time.
Do you see the bald head? You know what that means, right, guys? I have,
Yes.
5 kids. One of them was shot and killed. And God bless me with, I don't have a lot of grandchildren. They're 13 so far. And let me tell you the secret. Give them $35. I want a grandkid. I love you, $35. They just started having them, surplus like that. Okay, so that's it.
Well, but it's good to your story is I like the fact that you talk about coming from Wapolu, um, having the opportunity to come to Monrovia to go to school, and now you're in the States. I want did you the things that you're doing now,
Mhm.
when you look back at growing up in Liberia and in Bobolu, did you ever dream of where you are today? Did you ever think that where you are today will be something that you saw?
I didn't see that anywhere. I didn't see that. But one thing I can remember, there was the missionary that went to Bapolo, and there was a lady, somebody, I don't know, a lady, my brain not fresh like yours. I look young, but I'm not 21 years old. Get it right. You know, uh, she said she had a master degree. And I just, child, I'll get two master degree. That positive thing stayed in my head for years. I never ever thought I would have been here today. For real. When I look back at where I came from, Bapolo, during the war, growing up, I just sometimes wonder how did it happen? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just it's not my doing. That's why what I'm going to be talking about. I'm very very sensitive because if I can come from that far and God bring me this far, and I want to say Joe, I'm in trouble. I'm very careful with that. This got to be God's doing. It's not about me. It's not about anyone. It's about God.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very sensitive. I gotta search myself every time because one word can destroy people. Pride.
Right.
It's God.
Yes, yes. And I want to deviate a little bit. I mean, I know today the reason why we have you, I want to talk about your work, your philanthropic work, and also your church work and the things that you've been doing that's phenomenal. But the fact that there's something that you mentioned that we want to hear a little bit about, that's going to speak towards your healing. You talk about you and your wife being married for over 30 years, and then you talk about having 5 children, and one of your children was shot. I want us to talk a little bit because there may be somebody listening to us today, and if they can hear your story of how you heard the news, what it meant to you, what it meant to your family, what it meant to your wife, and where you are today, and how you were able to heal. Because some parents, it's a difficult thing to lose a child, but to hear that your child was shot, I want us to talk a little bit because we want to be able to help someone who is probably still in that dark spot of losing a child, and I want them to hear from you. So tell us a little story about losing your son, and what that meant for you and what it did to your life and the life of your family.
Well, that's my first son. He was born during the war in Bapolo. I still remember, we had to go in the bush in the wood to hustle. I went as far as, I forgot the place, way hours and hours. My wife gave birth, and I came that morning. I can still imagine walking into the room and holding my son for the first time. I remember him growing up. I remember when he came to America, all those processes when he graduated from high school. And I mean, I can just imagine all of those pictures. And he left and went to Arizona. And, you know, one day he called me and said, Daddy, I'm sorry if I did all the thing that I did to you. I've been thinking, how do you manage to handle us with, when his low money he was making, it was just going like this. And
Mm-hmm.
I had all of these kids and people come in. I said, how did you manage? He said, no, I got to come back home and leave the right way. I didn't leave right that day. He came back home and later on he left. Early in the morning, I still remember where I was driving. I got a call from one of his friends. And he said, "Oh, your son was shot and killed." No,
Hmm.
he said your son was shot. I said, "Is he okay?" No, he did not make it. Phew. Called my
Hmm.
wife and daughter. They just broke down and started crying. And then we're in Richmond, Virginia. The next thing was, how am I going to see my son, my first
Hmm.
son? How am I going to look at his body? Oh
Hmm.
my God. And I remember walking and looking at his body. And later on, bury him. When we bury him, oh, that's when it hit so hard. But one thing hit me. I thought about Job in the Bible. Job went through all of this, but everything that he went through, something good came out. Read Job's story. At the end of his story, God blessed him double. Now, the person that shot and killed our son, we do not know him. But what helped me through the process, and I'm a counselor also, hurt people will hurt people.
Hmm.
Most people that you see doing this kind of thing, if you check their lifestyle, they've been through stuff, and sometimes hurting people make them to feel good. Then look, is he really happy by doing that? No, no one can hurt someone and feel happy. Then I begin to twist it around. If I am that person that did the shooting, if that's what my son, how would I want to be treated? I put myself in that shoe with my two hands raised up before God. I am healed totally. If
Hmm.
I find that person who shot my and killed my son with my two hands raised up before God, I will hug him. I will help him. I will do anything for him because you know, we are what God called wounded healers. Sometimes if you're hurt, you use your wound to heal. Sometimes God allow you to go through something. It's not because of you. It's for
Hmm.
you to be a blessing to someone. That
Hmm.
person who did that is not happy. He is hurt. And I put myself in to his shoes. I know coming to the work that we're doing now, but these are the things that put me into doing what I'm doing, putting myself in other people's shoes. And it's so difficult to do that. You got to be in a
Yes.
special place because for real, sometimes I feel their pain, or literally I'm feeling the pain they're going through. And so I put myself, that's me. And so what do I do to help? We're wounded healers. And, I miss my son, but I'm healed totally. And I pray for that person who did that shooting, that God will give them that peace. Oh, we're going to be talking about some of the work I'm doing. And you get to understand what people are going through in this country. When you see homeless people, when you hear this person doing double shooting and all this stuff, it's bigger than what we see. They're going through hurt people, hurt people. And if I go by trying to hurt them, the question is, or sitting down feeling sorry for me, there was a time I was sitting and start feeling sorry, thinking of how he was brought up and all this stuff, and the pain would start coming. Oh no, it's not helping me. There is something in counseling we call positive self-talk. Put Take the negative things out of your head, put something positive there. When the negative is coming, it hit against the positive and go right back. Recognize it and say, go back and replace it with positive. I'm healed. I'm totally healed. And those of you listening to me, if you're going through, you know, difficult time, challenging time, pains, those are thoughts. And if you don't learn to get rid of those negative thoughts and replace it with positive, it will keep killing you and destroying you. It will keep you putting you in the state of depression. Ask yourself that question. Is this state, think about this, is it really helping me? It's not helping you at all. So you're going to have to remove the dirt and replace it with something positive. That's
But I,
it.
wa- I want to be realistic now, and I hear you, and I'm sure others watching they're listening, they're hearing. I'm sure it took a minute for the healing to come. So I'm sure it didn't just happen. It was a process, and I think one of the things you said is you have to be able to say to yourself, in the end, no matter what the hurt is who am I helping
Mhm.
or who am I hurting? It's self. So if you want a better self, you want to be able to do it. But I want to talk a little, I want you to tell me a little bit about how you were able to, I know you're the preacher, your wife and the children. How were you able, how were the children feeling? How were they coping to lose a sibling? What did it mean to them?
Well, it's a painful process. It was a painful process for everyone. But you see, we are example. People feed off of us. So there were times I cried bitterly, but many days I didn't cry before them. I had to come in the room to cry and to shed bitter tears, And so when I went before them, I showed that positive side. And once they begin to see that positive side, they begin to feel that healing process. So as I was getting healed, it was reaching out to them. We were talking about it, and like you said, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. When something terrible happens, you got to recognize the pain, and you got to recognize pushing it out, replacing it with something positive. It's a process. So that's what we did. We talk about it, and they saw the positive vibe coming from me, and it did spread onto the other people. So we as parents, what we do, negative or positive, it can filter down to our children. And we can even talk about some of the generational problems that people are facing in this country, from one parent to the children, to the grandchildren, and all the way down. What we do will affect our children. So there are times we cry. We got to be careful, especially when we have young kids. What we say to them, what we do before them as parents, what they hear can affect them in the long run. I just gave you one quick example. My dad and mom, I looked, I'm 21, I'm in my 50s. But more than 50 plus years ago, I still remember my mom and my dad in the room. We're in the opposite room. I can see the lantern, the lantern, the way they used to light it with a kerosene. I see a light behind it. My mom was quiet, but those kind of quiet people, when they get mad at something, I can see the lapa. She tied the lapa song away. And I can see my dad licking him up, and laying down. They going at it. I was like, whoa. I mean, I can see it so clear. More than 50 plus years ago. Imagine when we do negative things before our children, father and mother, how it affects those kids.
Yes.
We got to be very careful. We can go more to that.
Yes.
But let me let you talk.
So let me just say thank you for those of you who are just joining us. You're watching GeesBeeCee Women with Words. Today we're talking with Pastor Joe Reeves, a pastor. He started his own church in Richmond, Virginia, and now he also has this church in Richmond ministers to a large group of homeless people. We're going to be hitting that topic shortly. Pastor Reeves also is a philanthropist, now has a high school built in Liberia. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I want to talk about the first thing that you did here. Came from Liberia to Richmond, Virginia. You went to school, and then you pastored a church, but then you decide to start a church of your own. And the Tabernacle of Praise Ministry. Tell us, you're an African, you're here, you're coming, you don't got your own money, you don't got your own property. Why decide on, what were you thinking when you decided on starting a church? Where would the funding come from? I know it was a dream and stuff you wanted to do, but I want to hear about your organic story about starting a church and what you had to do.
Let me just start. When I came from Africa, Liberia, America, I worked in the fast food place. I was working the group home, the easiest job in life. Imagine going free, walking 15 hours. I was working out triple hours, man. That was easy job. But guess what? I had a chance to go to school. Struggle, went to school. I had a master's in theology. Then I did a master's in counseling. I became a licensed professional. I started a company. I had people working for me for real with my hand raised up. Those were some of the worst days in my life. It may sound stupid to so many people. But Apollo, in my village, it was better off than yet there and then. During the war was some of the most peaceful moment. It sounds stupid, but you know what did we have to depend on but God? We
Yes.
prayed, we fasted. There was war, but there was so much peace. Here I was working, I was making money, but I was so much empty inside. Because the more you chase after the things of the world, the more you push God aside. You know, when I left that church, there was this burning desire to start this church, and I was looking for a building. I found this building, and later on, the guy said, "Hey, you can buy this building without going to the bank." It's not easy to hurt. You know, yes, we made a contract. We got 5 more years to pay that building off. And then, you know, when we went to that place, there were homeless people around there. I came from this Baptist church. I used to wear my three-piece suit, my coat and tie. That's how I used to dress. Where we were, we have the fellowship hall. There were two sheds, you know, and one of the homeless guy was living in the other shed. We didn't bother him. He stayed there, and he died. And then later on, we had a memorial service. And in that memorial service, I was preaching. They had a lot of homeless people, the prostitute from the community. There were a lot of them gathered there because they are connected. And I was preaching, I made a statement. I said, in this life, sometimes people make you feel like nothing. And I saw a lot of tears coming down. And then my life changed around. I used to ask myself, God, why am I here? I can't connect with these people. I used to look at them with sign, help. Go find a job, man. You're lazy. Go find a job. I ain't going to waste my money. I didn't understand their stories. So let on sit with these people after that, hearing this. I don't want to get emotional, but if you listen to some of these people's stories, they grew up with our father, with our mother. Some of them grew up in foster care, abused, molested, you know, with that kind of terrible mindset. I mean, the way the brain developed, they put them into prison. They got involved in criminal activities with drugs, locked them up in prison. Imagine spending 15, 20 years in prison, coming back, dashing them out on the street. Where do they have to go? What did they do? It's almost like a circle. And people don't really have the mind, the thought to sit with these people to know where they came from, like I used to do. I gave you one example. There was a guy who was there. He passed away now. And I wanted to help them. I said, let me take you to get your ID card, birth certificate. First, he didn't have ID card. Let's go get your birth certificate. He didn't have ID card, no means of getting it. So one way of getting birth certificate was to get a brother or a relative that could go to the place to get his birth certificate. We phoned one of his brothers, and the person agreed to go. We went to get his birth certificate. He was so excited.
Wow.
And he was filling out the information, and he didn't write his father's name. And I said, no, you got to write your father's name. Oh, his face changed, his countenance changed. His hand was shaking, you know, writing that stuff. You know, he didn't even know his father's name. His brother said his father's name was dan. He wrote that thing. I mean, you could see a countenance change. Came, his birth certificate came, and we're able to process to get his ID card. Later on, you know, he got hit by a car and died. But if you listen to his story, he grew up without a father. Listen to me, people talking. Listen to me. I don't care how distant a father and a mother get to be. Don't allow what you go through to pass on to the children. It will affect them. Nobody, nothing, no money can replace a father and a mother. Father, connect with the mother and the children. You put your thing on the side. Mother, you'll do everything, because if you love your children, I don't care if you talk bad about the father or the mother, it will affect the children.
True.
I'm a living testimony. I've experienced that. I've seen that happen. Most of the people that you see homeless, At the early age, I had no father or no mother. I can give you stories upon stories. People who were molested even by their own parents. You know, people, the story is that their father, their mother had pain and they were passing on that pain. And so, when I got to this place, I started sitting with them. Then I, got to know where they were. But I was still working and doing the work at the same time. Like I said, I was not happy because I was not where God wanted me to be. I was not doing what God wanted me to do. And so I just sold my share of the company. And then I transferred to the church. Normally in the morning, they go in the shelter. They don't have nowhere to go. Some of these people got disability. To even get Social Security benefit is not easy. They don't have no one to help them. They don't have nowhere to go. They go in the shelter in the morning to kick them out. It's cold out there. Imagine the cold weather out there. It's in the 20s, in the 30s, 40s. Nowhere to go. Oh, family, some of these people sleep outside. I've seen so much. So normally I have to get at like 4 o'clock, do my little devotion, 5 o'clock, 6, some minutes to 6 are out to be able to open the place for them to come in. And it's an opportunity where they come. They come to hear the gospel music. We do devotion for them. Believe me, some of these people come and they are so tense they want to commit suicide. But when they get into that place, you saw me starting joking and laughing. We make them to laugh. We give them devotion, make them to drink coffee, just make them to feel love. This I do with my hand raised up before God. I'd rather do this than to become a millionaire. I know what I mean to get thousands of dollars. It was the worst time in my life. When the Bible said vanity, vanity, I know it. I'm where God wants me to be. I'm doing what God wants me to do. When the Bible says more blessed to give than to receive, I know it. I don't even need no one to tell me, so just putting smile on these people's faces. And the other part of this story, Glenda, I have seen and experienced God's miracle like never before. We don't get government income. We don't get no 501c3 plan. People just come and donate randomly. And we never been short of food one time. I give you one example and give you just to talk. This day, today Thursday, on our way going home, no food for Friday. And I'm like, oh God, how are we going to do it? I said, well, God, it's in your hands. You're going to make a way. I'm telling you, on my way going home, I received a text from a guy. He said, oh, I'm just reminding you, we're supposed to be coming to feed on Friday. God knew there were going to be no food. He had a plan already in place to feed these people. Guess what? Every Friday since then, this guy been coming to feed. Just imagine the place can get flooded with people. It's getting overflowed now. And we're a small church. We don't have that kind of income. The maximum we spend at the time was $100 to feed all of these people. Sometimes we look at people, God, how are we going to feed all these people? Believe me, when the Bible says few loaves of bread and fish fed thousands of people, I know it. Somewhere, somehow, God will spread that food. Everybody will eat and leave with a smile on their faces. Oh, I know what it means to say, oh, they got money sitting down there. But imagine if you broke and someone just come and say, oh, yes, $100. You know how exciting it can be? That we get to have, I get that money. It's dumb and it's saying now that I already know. But when God just comes in and give and give and give, man, this is what we experience every single day. Lives have been transformed over there. People giving their life to Christ. People have been restored. Oh, we've seen people die on the street. We've seen people hurt. It's been a whole lot. But God is faithful. And ask me, how do we do it? Don't ask me how. Because I'm going to say, Joe, how do you do this? How? It's not me. It's God's doing. It's God's doing. God gave
Beautiful.
us passion. No sound, make it sound like that. Some of these people are, can I say it in Liberian, where they are dirty. They come with dirty language, the curse. I don't care what you do to them. They turn against you, say all kinds of stuff against you. But guess what? Sometimes you have to God give you that passion. You got to look back to them and say, if they repent, receive them. And some of them do it to go and come back to regret. But that's what we do every day. Our church is now a huge church. We're small. We are less than 10 faithful people in that church that's doing this job. Less than 10. And God is doing great things.
Yeah.
News, everybody saying looking good. Shining, my boy, he's shining. I'm just, joking. But since that time, we been getting, they say overflow. God is doing wonders. And there's nothing compares to being where God wants you to be and doing what God wants you to do. I tell you can talk more than me. I talk you out today.
I think you can talk more than me, but that's a beautiful story. I want to say also that I just looking at the homeless people when the church first started, it was just a few people. Now it's a lot of people that come, hundreds of people. They come, they're regular, they come, they get fed, they get hot water. The last time I even they interact. When you see their interaction with Pastor Joe, you understand that these people, they found a space of love. They found someone who has identified so much so that this ministry, this homeless ministry from his church, Tabernacle of Praise, was highlighted in one of the Richmond newspaper or TV, Channel 6, I believe, featured the work that Pastor Joe is doing in Richmond. And then also there was the fire department of Richmond came and made some donations. If you want to, Pastor Joe is on Facebook. If you want to make a donation to the homeless ministry from his church, please, you can certainly do that. You can inbox him, you can text me, I can send you his information. But I think the work they're doing, we need to be able to be supportive of what they're doing, because good is never lost. Like you said, good is never lost, and you want to be able to be a part of blessing people. When I look at these pictures, and there's so many pictures when I look at these homeless people. These are all homeless people coming to get their breakfast in the morning. And the thing about the homelessness is that there's no color. Anybody can be homeless, and anybody can need help. I want to recognize Bobby Zena White. She's watching. She is the president of the Bopolu Association in Liberia, in America here. So I hope that you can connect with her, Pastor Joe, because you're from Bopolu, that you're a Bopolu woman.
Yeah, I think that woman there.
Yeah, Bopolu, she's here. And so you all can connect later on, because you're doing great work with the homeless. Now let's switch gear to your work in Liberia presently. So you start a company. I'm telling you, this man it's someone to be extremely proud of. You start a church, you start a ministry, you start your own company. You said, no, this is not what I want to do. This is not where I want to be. You decide now to go to Liberia, and tell us about your decision to go to Liberia and the work that you've started there. We have pictures that will show, but I want you to tell us about what you're doing in Liberia.
Again, let's go back. When I came to America, God said he brought me here for a reason. That's a reason. I had this counseling company, people working, making money, but I said that was not the best place for me. I sold a share of the company, and I had this money sitting in my account. The first thing in the morning, what you do, check your account to see what's there. The account, it's out,
So we lost Pastor Joe. He will be coming back, but I'm telling you, he is a testimony to what God can do, what great thing we can do for one another if we become our brother's keeper. Like I said, the work that he has started with just joining us. We've been talking to Pastor Joe Reeves. He has a church in Richmond, Virginia. He's a Liberian. He's from Bopolu County. He's a philanthropist. He's also a licensed counselor. He started a church in Richmond, but his ministry in Richmond is being highlighted. It was highlighted during the Christmas time in Richmond because of his work with the homeless shelter, homeless people in Richmond. They go to his church every morning. They give them breakfast, they feed them, and they also go and they go there on Sunday early in the morning. I'll bring him back on. All right.
Okay.
Sorry, you switched off a little.
And technology. I'm not that. I look my.
Yeah. So tell us about the working life bureau. That's
Bro,
where we
so
were.
I had all this money in my account. The first thing in the morning, I'm looking at that money instead of looking at God and looking at the money. Listen to this. I know when God say I'm a jealous God. If you really want to experience stress and all kinds of stuff, even though you got all the money and not happy, put that money before God. That money I had when I sold the company was an idol. And I had to get rid of that money. How did I get rid of it? God laid on my heart to start, a school. And I started small, we built a school. And I said, oh, the church got to be connected with the school, invested money into the church. Well, I know I grew up, people they didn't have clinic. We used to get sick from a little, then build a clinic. And I said, wow.
You're forcing I think your internet or something. You may need to switch.
My
Yeah,
internet,
okay.
is it acting out right?
You're not in Miami. I don't know why your internet acting like that. Okay.
I know.
Continue. I
Can you
think
hear
it's
it?
better now. Yes,
Yeah.
it's better.
So, I was able to, like I said, uh, invest in getting the clinic going. Then later on, we got a soccer field. Now we change it to a football complex where they got soccer field, basketball, volleyball, children playground. We also have the clinic there. The clinic. We built also a nursing school that we're going to be opening hopefully this month, and a Bible school. And when you look at this work, you just think this guy is a millionaire. But with my hand raised up again, I don't care about making money. God takes care of me. This work is strictly for God. This is God's doing. If you look at that money, you ask, how many million did you spend here? But again, when God can take the smallest amount and invest it and spread it, that's the work. And the work there is, again, is not for money. I grew up in Bapolo. I think about those kids like me who don't have, and that's the most challenging part. The tuition, we started, it was up. I didn't know anything about that. We cut it down last year, and we even trying to bring it down more to be able to get more students that we can reach out to. The most thing that bring tears to me most time is the kids that are not able to attend. We have over 65 kids on scholarship. How do we get to incorporate these kids? I'm praying that one day maybe God can give us a grant where we can be able to pay teachers. Again, this is not about money. Money don't make people happy. My prayer is that the school will be independent, to be able to pay the teachers, to be able to pay the staff and run itself. That even when I leave this world and die, it will still be helpful. So the nurses school, Bible school trying to open, it's the same. We got a community center there. We got some laptop. We got television there where they can watch game. Just to give them a place of comfort. Things that we never had when we were growing up. And if God can bless us and bring us to this country, He definitely can be able to work through us to do greatness. That's the basketball field on the campus itself. But on the complex, we also have basketball, volleyball, soccer, children playground. And this is about reaching out to the less fortunate kids that are there. Those are senior students. And guess what we're going to do with those senior students? Each of them will be graduating with a laptop if they pass and do well. We're going to be getting them a laptop to equip them. and they better learn computer. We got computer incorporated within the school. We also have vocational program that they are learning. If they graduate from high school, what do? They have to go with something, maybe learning how to fix hair, just to learn to be independent. Because our country, there's so much poverty. Most students may not be able to go to college, but can they be independent when they graduate? And that's what we're doing. So with my hand raised up, all those who can sponsor students, every fund going there is for God's work and to be able to reach out to the less fortunate kid. That's a church there. And whatever you can do to be a blessing, join us. If you got gifting, you want to be able to join that gifting, let's do it to be able to help our own children. And one of the things we did, one I'm going to do, there is a serious drug problem in Liberia. And that's a topic by itself. How can we handle that? If I can do what I'm doing here, what can I do to incorporate some of those kids? Some of them need counseling. Some of them need, to be processed with, the way we interact with our children. We push them away. They might end up going to people who accept them. So we're trying to see the people that call Zogos. How can we reach out to them? There were times where we fed them. We did counseling to some of them. Few of them, got incorporated in the school, even though one or two of them dropped off. But some of them still doing well. And one thing I'm going to do, I joke a lot about, very serious. I'm going to get drug testing materials from here where students will be tested for drug. Because there's a serious drug problem in Liberia. If we don't put our foot down to be able to help our children and the way we interact with them, it's going to change. And here are some of the things that, I try to incorporate the system that we learn here. In Liberia, I got to just say the educational system is very deplorable. I fire plenty people, still fire them. I don't take corrupt system. You bribing, taking bribe from student to pass them, you're gone. You just want to stay home because you want to stay home, you're gone. I say no corporal punishment. Pumping tire, cutting grass. No, I'm crazy to so many people, but relationship, the way you talk to the student, the way you motivate them, the kind of reward you give them, it can motivate them. Let me tell you about one of my daughters. She's in the 12th grade. She's going to be graduating. I don't have a single problem with her. Do you know what I do? iPhone reward. If you do well, I upgrade your iPhone. I got iPhone 14. I don't need it, but I have to. If you get two, it's cheaper. So that's what I do. She already doing college courses while in 12th grade. See, so we motivate our children. That system in Liberia, family, we got to get together to change it because 12th graders can't even read correctly. It's so sad. I got to say this, but to be real. So we're trying to change the educational system. What do we do to motivate them, to encourage them? That's what the FAMADEN Memorial Institute is about. FAMADEN is named after my dad and mom. My mom was called Famada, and my dad was called Dennis. FAMADEN, Famada Dennis. That's the way the school is named after them. And the nursing school also going to be named after my sister, Louise Reed Gidio, LRG School of Nursing. That's going to be opening. The Bible school is going to be called Tabernacle Bible Institute. It's something we had some vision. We started here, but we could not do much of that. We're transferring them that also. So basically, the school is not just for money children. It's for all people, all level. We're trying to see how best we can do afternoon section. And we have computer programs there that they can learn. It's incorporated within the school so that they can learn technology. Some of you might be going for vacation in Liberia. You can do reading program. We have the facility. Oh, one thing I left out. Guess what we got there now? We're going to be completing that in 2 weeks. The children, we're going to have toys. We're going to have games. When you do well in school, you got a vacation to play, all that. Or on the weekend, if you do well. If you go to school regularly, you got, just little things to motivate our children.
Motivate them. Beautiful,
Yes. So
beautiful,
talk some
beautiful.
more.
Yes. Thank you so much. Dr. Paulina Cole Harvey is saying that she would connect with you because she has a sewing school in Liberia. And so you guys can probably collaborate. I like
Please.
the fact that you're also empowering the students. So you have the high school,
Yes.
and this
Yes.
and correct me, this school was started what, 4 years ago?
Well,
Some of them
3 years
was it
now. Yes.
3 years?
Yeah.
3 years ago, and you
3 years.
already
My
have a
brain not good like
school.
yours. Yeah.
You have a high school, you have a playground, you have a church, you have a you're opening a nursing school soon. Some of the nurses here, we can go back and volunteer and help to teach. You have
Please.
what we you now you're talking about having a program. I like that it is a campus of everything, so that the way you've
Yes.
exposed the children to that environment, it means that there is no reason why they cannot be successful. So this is amazing work that you've done. Like I say again, we've been talking to Pastor Joe Reeves, the philanthropist. I'm telling you, this man has a high school that he built. It's located in Brewerville. Like he said, it's called FAMADEN. It's named after his mother and his father. It's a FAMADEN Memorial Institute. He's starting a Bible school soon. He's going to be opening a nursing school soon. He also has a church there. And so if you want to donate, he does a lot of work in Richmond with the homeless people. If you want to make a donation to the work that Pastor Reese is doing, please let's collaborate. Let's see what we can do. I can attest. I know of his work. We have some personal history, but we're not going to get into that. But I know the man Joe Reese. I know how passionate he is about the work that he's done, the work he wants to do for Liberia. So it's been an hour now. As we come to an end of this interview, we'll just hear any closing comments or any last minute time thing that you want to say to the people that are watching, and anybody else who may watch this show later. We lost him again. That's the internet. This man is not in Miami.
Build to the
Okay.
school.
Yes. So we
To
want
the,
you to give you closing comments to the audience and to everybody else may watch later. What do you have to say to them?
all right. So just keep me in your prayers, as we do the work in Liberia, is to be able to help people. The work here is about reaching out to people. And you know, I'm a different Liberian. I'm not doing this to get money. I don't care about rich. God takes care of everything. So if you're giving, donating, know for sure with God on with my hands up, it's going to be used for that purpose. You can contribute if you're in the Virginia area or you want to order something on eBay or wherever to ship it. You can contact me. We always need coffee, sugar, creamer, coffee cups. That's the first thing in the morning they need to be able to, start the day. We have regular devotion. We do lunch also on a regular basis. So whatever contribution, you can do Cash App, you can contact Glenda or connect with me. You can do Zelle, you can do check, that'll be able to help us. If you want to sponsor a student in Liberia, that would be also helpful. And these students, not just students that we're going to choose because we know them. Most of the students that you see there on scholarship, these are students that are picked up from the street that had no means of going to school, and we try to give them some education. And again, want to say thank you. Stay in contact with us whatever way you can do. We're building a guest house there. We're going to be completed between now and March, where if you want to station there to do some work, you can also get stationed there. And
Smart.
I don't know what else to say, man. I'm hungry
Very
now.
smart. Very smart. This is like a holistic ministry. The man is leaving nothing untouched. He's connecting every dot. So yes, if somebody wants to go, like, if I don't have a home in Liberia and I want to go and volunteer for a month to the school, there will be somewhere for me to stay, which will be very attractive. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give Pastor Reed's number just for those, if you want to send a donation to him, I will making it public. The man, of course, the number can have
Oh,
is
make it public. It's already public.
804-437-4986, and I will add it to the live feed. If you want to make a donation to Pastor Joe Reeves, to his homeless ministry in Richmond, to the church. The homeless ministry is big. It is huge. Till the news people, the police people, all those people, they're making donations because they've never seen this before. Lots of homeless people, they get fed daily. They get breakfast, and on Sunday also they get the Bible study reading, all of those things. So it's 804-437-4986. Pastor Reeves also has his school. It's a high school. It is in Brewerville, correct? It's in Brewerville, Monrovia. It's in Brewerville. And it's a high school from kindergarten straight to 12th grade. They have library. They have a computer room. They have, I'm telling you, they have all of the facilities the children need to be able to learn. Now, recently, they just opened up a whole court, football field, basketball. Where is that picture? Everything. They open it up for the students where they can be able to play. I think, yeah, okay, here you go. Basketball, football. It's a whole campus affair for the children. So I want to say thank you, Pastor Reeves, for what you've done, what you continue to do. We will continue to support your ministry and your work in whatever little we can do. Thank you for taking off the time. We wish you all the best. I'm raising my hand up to wish you all the best in all that you do. We're so proud of you.
I got a question for you. I got a question for you. Don't judge me, yes or no. Be real. When you put your hand up, do you eat dog?
No, I don't eat dog. No.
Don't lie. You sure?
No.
Next question. Do you eat hot dog?
I eat hot dog, but hot dog I am.
Wait, me you lie. Just say I eat dog, but it gotta be hot.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a good evening, and we've learned a lot. Thank you, Pastor Reeves. Oh my goodness, that was a good one. Do you eat dog? No, I do not eat dog. Do you eat hot dog? That was a good one. But it was a good interview. This man is doing a lot, and he's very passionate about what he's doing. He's somebody who, when some people, when they share their desire, their dream, you be like, why you have your company, you're making all this money, and then you want to go to Liberia to start a school. But imagine what he has been able to do in the lives that he has been able to impact. Formidable. This is something that will continue. This legacy will continue in years to come. Children will be empowered. I like that when you graduate from high school, there's going to be an opportunity on that same campus to go and take up a trade. You can take up a trade with nursing. You can do a trade with you can go to the Bible school. I hope that he will collaborate with Sis Pauline with the sewing class. They can have somebody on the campus to do sewing. But I like that you're empowering the student, that he's empowering the students, graduate from high school, pick up a trade so that you can become self-sufficient. To all of you who have been watching us this evening, no, it's not a boarding school. It's a high school. They go to school in the morning and they go home in the evening. So it's not a boarding school, but he's done all of this in a span of 3 years. Such a short time. It's just that his vision is effortless. I mean, he continues when he thinks about it. God directs him and he does it. And truly, like he said, he's not in it for the money. He loves what he does, and all we can do is to be supportive of the work that he's doing for Liberia. So folks, I want to thank you for sticking with us through the entire 1 hour watching this show. Again, if you want to make a donation to Pastor Joe Reeves and to the work that he's doing in Liberia, I want to share his number with you again. If you just want to call him and just say thank you, Even if you don't have to give, I want to encourage you. Even if it's a text message, just text him. Sometimes when we're doing stuff, it's not a matter of whether people will encourage us or whether people will donate. It's the fact that somebody sees what you've done and they recognize and they say, thank you for what you're doing. Hang in there. We appreciate you. So if you want to do that, if you just want to call in and say, I just want to connect, how can I help you? Oh, Pastor Reeves, I watch you on GBC. I want to just say thank you for all that you do for Liberia. It's 804-437-4986. 804-437-4986. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we will see you perhaps next week. This is a new year, and I wish you all the very best. Stay safe and enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.